Hello everyone, and welcome again to Nettle, the best platform around for distance learning in business, finance, economics, and much more. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click that bell notification button below so that you never miss fresh videos and tutorials you might be interested in. Many thanks to our current Patreon supporters and YouTube members for making this video possible, and we'd also greatly appreciate if you consider supporting us as well. So please click the link or the join button in the description for more details. My name is Saba, and today we're investigating a key concept in investment management and corporate finance, that is, the internal rate of return, or IRR, its relationship with net present value, NPV, and various ways how to approximate or calculate IRR in Excel. So we start with a seemingly simple cash flow schedule. It's a 5-year project that requires £100,000 worth of investment in the 0th year, so straight away, and it returns £100,000 in year 4 and 5 each, without yielding anything in the intermediate years. This might seem like a very simple cash flow schedule. However, it stems from a very famous polynomial equation that is well known to be impossible to solve precisely using algebraic methods. If you are interested in the mathematics of IRR, then check out our mathematics of IRR video. However, today we're interested in approximations and Excel tricks, and we'll consider 3 different methods that can be used to approximate IRR. First, GoalSeek, the built-in Excel numerical optimization tool, the black box we all know and love. The linear approximation tool, and we'll also discuss why it exactly works. And we'll also build a binary search algorithm from scratch in Excel to calculate the IRR even more precisely. So first, let's tackle GoalSeek. To start calculating your IRR using GoalSeek, we need to first assume our starting value of the discount rate to be equal to any value pretty much. So let's select something reasonable. Let's select 10%. And let's calculate the net present value, NPV, using the usual approach in Excel by first calculating the discount factors in this particular column. So we first do 1 over 1 plus the discount rate, and we lock the row for the discount rate to the power of t, the number of the year for the respective cash flow. And we see that the discount factors go down as time passes, meaning that further and further cash flows are less and less valuable in the present day, which is very intuitive. And now we can discount our cash flows by the respective discount factors, simply multiplying them together. And finally, we can calculate our NPV as per this formula as the sum of all discounted cash flows subject to a particular discount rate R. So we sum up this particular column and get a positive net present value of 30.39. So it means that our discount rate is potentially lower than our internal rate of return, as we can increase the discount rate further and still have a positive NPV. So when we run the GoalSeek, we can expect the discount rate to be higher than 10%. So let's check this particular speculation that we might have. To apply GoalSeek, we just need to go Data, What If Analysis, GoalSeek, and specify the task that we want GoalSeek to approach. We want to set the cell with the NPV calculations B3 to the value of 0, and we want to change the cell with the discount rate B2. So as we click OK, Excel starts calculating the optimal value, and it converges to the discount rate of 16.73%, which is the approximation of IRR, as this discount rate corresponds to the net present value of 0. However, you might not want to use GoalSeek, or you might not have access to GoalSeek. So how to do a reasonable approximation of IRR using linear functions, and why does it work? To do that, we have to calculate our NPV for a range of discount rates and proceed from there. So let's consider a reasonable range of discount rates, starting from 0% and moving 1% at a time until we reach, let's say, 25%. And now we can use some clever Excel tricks to avoid calculating NPV using this bulky procedure, but rather calculate it using one single formula. And that's how it's done. We simply need to translate this mathematical formula into the language of Excel cell references. So first of all, we definitely need a sum. We definitely need to sum cash flows in the numerator. So let's plug them in. And we need to lock the rows over here, as cash flows stay the same no matter what. And then we need to discount them. We need to discount them by 1 plus the discount rate that we have got in the cell over here. And we want to vary it, so no locking columns or rows here. And then we need to raise that 1 plus the discount rate to the power of the respective year numbers. And here we've got the array of year numbers. And we can lock the rows there as year numbers, again, do not change. Close the parentheses and calculate. And we see that quite intuitively, the discount rate of 0 corresponds to the NPV of 100, as when the discount rate is 0, your NPV is simply the sum of cash flows. We are not discounting them. And now we can simply bottom like that all the way down and get the nice curve that relates net present value to a particular discount rate. And we can see that it does intersect the 0 axis at a point that's close to 16 or 17%. How we might see that? Well, we might investigate how NPV changes subject to changing discount rates, and we see that it's still positive when the discount rate is 16%, but it's negative when it is 17%. And we can deduce that our IRR lies between 16% and 17%. And now we can plot a line, a straight line, through the 2 points over here and calculate the intersection with the 0 axis, which would be our linear approximation of IRR. But why does it work? Well, if we calculate a linear approximation of the discount rate as a linear function of NPV, we would have a formula like that. The discount rate would be approximately equal locally, as this line does curve, does bend, but it bends very slowly, and in narrow intervals you could reasonably approximate it with a line. It would be approximately equal to A, which would be the intercept, plus B, which would be the slope, times the NPV. And given the fact that our internal rate of return, IRR, is the discount rate that corresponds to the NPV value of 0, it would be quite naturally just the intercept of this linear approximation. So now let's use built-in Excel intercept and slope functions to tackle our task. So our IRR would simply be the intercept of our rates of return as y variables, as we've got them on the left-hand side over here, and our NPVs as x variables over here. And we see that the linear approximation yielded the result that our IRR is equal to 16.735%, which is very, very close to the discount rate we obtained using GoalSeek. This IRR approximation is less than a basis point off from the one we obtained using sophisticated Excel numerical tools. So linear approximations for IRR work reasonably well. And now we can only verify that this line does trend downwards, as you expect this particular function to be, by simply calculating the slope. And we can be lazy, copy this formula, paste it over here and change intercept to slope, and see that it indeed does trend downwards, as a linear approximation over here should do. However, why did we pick just 2 points? Don't linear trends or regression lines or lines of best fit perform better when we select a larger sample? Well, here it's not the case, as this particular function over the course of the whole domain, from 0% to 25% of the discount rate, is definitely not linear. So if we plug in the whole sample here instead of our 2 points, so if we plug the whole discount rate array and the whole NPV array instead of just the 2 points, we could see how our approximation deteriorates. It's now more than half a percentage point of our GoalSeek IRR approximation. So we do not want that. We want to linear approximate using just the 2 points that are the last positive value of the NPV and the first negative value of the NPV. However, is it the only way to approximate IRR reasonably effectively? Can you approximate it as well as GoalSeek without relying on black box numerical optimization tools? Turns out you can. You can build a binary search algorithm yourself from scratch. And it's an iterative algorithm that selects 2 points as the starting parameters that are the lower limit and the upper limit. So the only requirement we have is that the lower limit should have positive NPV and the upper limit should have a negative NPV associated with it. So we can still plug in our 16% and our 17%. And then we estimate our function, and in that case it's our NPV function, at the midpoint of our interval. So the midpoint between the lower limit and the upper limit. So in that case, our discount rate would be 16% plus 17% divided by 2, which would yield 16.5%, unsurprisingly. And now we can calculate the NPV value associated with this discount rate, and that's actually an easy trick to do. We can simply copy this formula, as it does all of the NPV job quite well, and drag this to input the correct discount rate. Instead of this particular cell, we are now referring to this particular cell. So if we enforce this function, we still get a positive NPV. What does it mean? Well, it means that this is lower than our true IRR. It means that we have to readjust our lower and upper limits and search on a midpoint of a shorter interval. So as at our midpoint, the function is still positive, we now readjust our interval, so that is now our lower limit, and that is now our upper limit. So we go to the next iteration and apply the logical function. So if our function value is positive, then our lower limit is the midpoint. If it is negative, then our lower limit was doing just fine, so let's keep it. For the upper limit, the logic is very similar. If the value of our function is positive, then we are doing fine. Our upper limit should stay the same. And if it's not, then our midpoint becomes the new upper limit, as we're now searching on the leftmost half of the original interval. And we can see that now, for our particular first iteration, the lower and upper limits are now 16.5% and 17%, and we can now simply apply the same function once again. And we are now at 16.75%, already quite close. And the NPV value is negative, but way closer to 0 than initially. So now we can simply iterate. Let's iterate for 20 times, and we can see how fast do we approach very close values to that of the solver. We approach effectively exactly the same value as solver or goal seek, and we can see how fast do we approach to IRR approximations that are indistinguishable effectively from the one provided by goal seek. At 13th iteration, we are already less than a 100th of a basis point, so an impeccably small number away from the goal seek approximation. And what is very useful in terms of binary search, we didn't need to start with 16 and 17. We could have started with 0 and 25. And it still would have converged just fine in only 17 iterations. So that's the power of binary search, the algorithm that can allow you to calculate IRR very effectively, even if you don't want to use goal seek. And that's all there is in terms of the Excel approximations of IRR, using goal seek, linear approximations, as well as binary search. Please leave a like on this video if you found it helpful. In the comments below, I'm eager to see any further suggestions for videos in business, finance, or economics topics you would like me to record. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel or consider supporting us on Patreon. Thank you very much, and stay tuned.